Dan is the king of high-ticket sales, and he is a masterful entrepreneur.
That's what I love about Dan, no BS.
Dan is an exceptional leader, teacher, business mentor, and friend.
Dan's a force of nature.
$12 million in my pocket is what I believe I would have above and beyond what I've made in the last 10 years alone, had I found Dan Lok sooner.
Hey, this is Dan Lok. If you don't know me, we have generated over $100 million in coaching and digital course sales and growing rapidly. Today, I got a question from my community. I have a client who has disengaged. Should I cancel and stop charging them? By the way, if you have not joined our community, we have a high ticket expert community. You could go to www.highticketexpert.com/community and apply. And it costs you nothing. So make sure you do that. That's where you could ask me questions and I would answer them on this show. So when you have a client that is disengaged, what should you do? Think about this. Think about kind of a client journey here. When a client is disengaged, they are kind of near the end, right? They're not happy, they are not engaged, right? They are not consuming your content, they are not attending your classes, they are not attending your group coaching calls, right? They are not engaged. I say this all the time. A disengaged client is a client that you're about to lose. I'll say that one more time. A disengaged client is a client that you are about to lose. So there are a couple things that you could do to prevent that. Then I'm going to give you a solution of exactly what you need to do with a disengaged client. First of all, if you're selling a high ticket offer, right? The most important thing that you could do is onboarding. Are you doing any kind of onboarding with your clients? Because with onboarding, you are setting them up for success, right? What to expect. How do you make sure they get the most out of your program? Onboarding. If you have not done that, your clients will become disengaged. And during that onboarding call or onboarding session, what you want to do or what your team wants to do is to create some sort of structure and to get clarity on what the client's goal is. And you see why this makes a lot of sense. Let's say the goal is to grow their business by $2 million, okay? Okay, good. How are we gonna get there? In order to get there, I gotta make sure that you consume the content, you attend the classes, you implement what we teach, right? You utilize all the support that we are providing and the accountability. These are the steps that would get you from here to there, right? From here to there. So what happens is when they're not doing these things, or they're only doing partial. Now, before you get to a client that is disengaged, you get in touch with them and say, hey, I wonder what is going on. I thought that you told me your goal is to grow your business by $2 million. Like, how come you're not following through? How come you're not engaged? How come you're not implementing? So you always circle back to their goals. You always tie what you do back to their goals. And they're like, you know what, I apologize. Yes, I should be more engaged. You know, I'll be more engaged and I'll implement better. Great. So you keep doing that. This helps them to be more engaged. Now, by the time when they're completely disengaged, now they're like, hey, this is a client that you're about to lose. So here's what you do, and here's what I do. You want to have your team, or you, if you're a small business, to reach out to them, and you pick up the phone. This is not email, this is none of those things, and you pick up the phone and you call them. And you ask them, hey, you know, I noticed you have not been very engaged in the community and you're not using the materials, you're not watching the content, right? You're not applying what we do. What's going on? So you want to be very, very upfront, very transparent. What is going on? What's going on? And they will say, well, I'm going through some stuff, or my business is going through some stuff. And you want to get to the truth. Seriously, what is going on? Maybe they're procrastinating. Maybe their family is going through some stuff you don't know, but you want to get to the truth of what it is that they are going through. If they're telling you the truth, now you go back and kind of circle back to, hey, why did you join this program in the first place? What motivated you to do so? Well, it's because of this and this and this. What are your goals? How could I best support you? You basically have to do a week close. As if they have never joined your program. Because this is a client you're about to lose. You do a week close, and now you reestablish the expectations. What would it take for them to get to the promised land, right? To get to the success that they want, you got to do a week close. You got to do a week close. You got to do a week close. And this is how we do it. And it has worked for us beautifully. When we have that conversation, when we know and we get to the truth, and sometimes they might say, you know what, this thing is not for me. It's just, I don't want to do it. And if that's the case, I don't want you in the program. I don't want you to be in a marriage that you don't want to be in. Should we stop the program? It's better that way because it's not serving you, it's not serving us. I'd rather have that conversation and then we move them from the group and say, hey, this is it. Versus they are hanging around but they're not doing anything and they're not contributing, they're not applying. Well, they're not going to be successful anyway. It's not good for you, it's not good for them. It's a lose-lose. Versus just picking up the phone, we close them, we establish, and some you could save and some you cannot. But don't just stop billing them. Because when you stop billing them, they're still not getting what they want and you lose a client. It's a lose-lose. Versus picking up the phone, having that very frank conversation, see if you can do a week close, reestablish, set expectations, and most clients, I promise you, you would be able to save. So until then, go high ticket.